Hello everyone, welcome to my corner of the world and to Sunday Live. I think it's October the 20th today, so we're well past the middle of October, and wow, yeah, the weather's started to cool down here in North Texas, which is a bit of a relief. So if you're out there, maybe what you'll do is you'll let me know in the live chat on the right hand side of your screen. I'd certainly love to know that you are there and I'm not just talking to myself today. Okay, so I think I've given you a minute to catch up with me. All right, so every week when I do a live, I kind of come up with a bit of an idea and then we make it happen during this live. And so, oops, I'm wrecking the joint here. And so I was looking through some papers earlier this week and I came across this recipe that somebody had given me and a fair old time ago. Look at that. And it was probably a card swap that I joined in with. And it's an angled card. Now, I've never made one of those before. So I thought that that's what we could do today, is to follow the recipe and see what we can make of it. Right. So I am in need of some birthday cards for some fellas in my life. And so I thought I could use this lovely paper. It's a nice masculine paper. And if you follow me, you know that I am rubbish at making cards for fellas. And so this paper is very helpful. And I think it'll work for both of the fellas that I'm going to send them to. So this is what we're going to choose from. And then I looked on the back of the packet. Oh, I haven't got the back of the packet anymore. I think I've used it for something. But anyway, on the back of the packet, it tells you the card colours that they've used in this. And so I've pulled those out. So I've pulled out 2 of the blues. And there's 2 of the sort of greys. And so if you're out there and you want to join in, just tell me blue or grey for our base card and we'll make a start from there. Okay, now the instructions say that we need a base 5.5 by 11, and then it gives me some score and then how to cut these angles. Now I've seen these cards and maybe you have as well, but as I say, I've never made one before. So then it tells you to cut there. Then it says to cut 2 pieces of decorative paper and then to put an angle. And she goes on to say what she used. And then some white, send in love and peace. Oh, that's just the supplies that she used. Okay. So I guess the first thing would be to choose which paper we're going to use. So now I'm interested in keeping my eye on this one because it's got some tags, and I wondered if I could use those on the front of my card. And there's actually 2 sheets. So if I want to, I can go ahead and make 2 of the same since I need to. And there's like a world map on the back. Okay, oh, that's one idea, that's that. So I didn't pull any green out because I know that the 2 fellas are not really into green. So but they've got nice backs. And there's this one here. Now that's this colour. What's that colour called? Copper clay. I'm going to steer clear of copper clay, but we've got some nice blue aeroplanes. We got clouds. I wandered lonely as a cloud. So we've got clouds and more aeroplanes. And then we've got some repeats. So let's see what we've got. I really like this paper here. I think it would go nicely against either of those 2 greys. That's one thought. And then the blues, let's see. I think the blues would work with the grey. And this is kind of got like little bits of patches of rivets. Again, really good guy card. And I'm guessing that would go with it nicely as well. And I suppose I could get away with that. And that would be a big contrast. So I need to think on that for a second. Right, well, let's see how we go. Now, do I want to use these greys with the blue, or we could use this blue? That's nice. And the nice thing about this is, I think, now I was going to say the planes go in all different directions, but actually I think this does have a direction. And that's my main concern, is if we get a direction, and if we've got to cut a funny shape, I might find that I cut it the wrong way. Okay, it's make your mind up time, Cindy. And it's make your mind up time. So let's see, if I'm going to put maybe one of these tags, then obviously I don't want to use those 2, and I said I didn't want to use green, so there's 2 greyish ones. So maybe I need to use the blue. Maybe I use the blue with the greys. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it to it, Sind. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Right. Get the sugar. And the first thing we're going to do, it tells us that we're going to cut our base 5.5 by 11. So it's 11 this way, so we're going to do 5.5 this way, like that. Oh, I got that spare piece. And then it tells me here to score along that long side at 3 3/8 and 7 5/8. So 3 3/8. So there's my first score. And 7 5/8. 7 5/8. Right. That's that bit. So I'm just going to use my pencil to just do a bit of marking. Now, the one thing I am going to do is I'm just going to very lightly mark the top of my card. Because sometimes when you're sort of fiddling around with measurements, and sometimes I get a bit disorientated. So that's what we're going to do. Right, so then it says on the 5.5 inch side of the card base, which is this side, measure 1 inch from the top right and make a pop of that. Okay, so there's the top right, and 1 inch there, and make a pencil mark. On the 11 inch side, measure in 1 inch and make a pencil mark. So I'm thinking here. So then that gives and then it tells you to cut there and cut there. So let's do that. So I'm just going to line up make sure I got my right thing. Okay, so I'm going to line up my marks over my cutting line here and there. And I'm going to cut that piece off. And then it says to line up that mark with this 1 inch mark down there. And then I've got, if I do like that, then I've got a shape that goes like that. Okay, so let's do the other side. So it's got to be 1 inch down here. Yeah, it's got to be 1 inch down on there. And 1 inch in on here. Right, so again, we're going to line up. I'll just bring it in a bit closer. There we go. So we're just going to line up. Right, so there's my fold. So I've got to line, oh, just a sec. See, top. I knew I had my, I sensed that something wasn't right, and I turned it around 90 degrees. So I moved it. Look at that. What an honor. There we go. And then I'm going to do this bit here. Just a sec. Yep, I've got to do this bit from there. No, to there. Okay, let's go this way because it's got more to hold on to. Hopefully you can see that. It's a lot of thinking, isn't it, for a Sunday morning? There we go. There we go. I get rid of these bits. Not sure I need those. But I will rub out my marks, my pencil marks. I'm going to leave the tea there for the time being, so as I don't mess that up. Okay, so, no, that's right. Yeah, and then it stands up like that. Okay, so on the inside, they put red and white, so 4x4. Okay, so they said do 4x4 because then it won't show above there, I'm guessing. So let's get, since I've used that, maybe we could use some blue. So let's cut a piece 4x4. And see what we get. What does that look like? Okay. It looks a bit on the low side, doesn't it? So this bit is a bit bigger. And that doesn't show, so I like that piece better. So I do that. So this bit now measures 4.5 by 4. So if I get some white, this needs to be 4.25. 4.25 that way. And then that can go in there like that. And we've got the start of our card. Okay, right. Okay. Now we are going to cut ourselves some decorative paper. So it says, cut 2 pieces of decorative paper, 3.25 by 5.25. 3.25 by 5.25. There we go. And I'm going to cut a strip at 3/8, 3.25, 3/8. I like 3/8. I think that's a nice measurement, 3/8. And I think I'm going to pop it on here, like that, to decorate that piece up. So we'll hold that thought. And now we've got to cut a piece that will fit here, like that. And then the other piece will fit there like that. So we've got to put the shape in. So it says, cut them exactly the same way as we did the base. Okay, so let's put these other pieces down. So I've got to take that inch there. So we've got to come down an inch. And we've got to cut that piece from there to there. So we put that corner, put that inch. Okay, so that should go kind of like that, right? And then we've got to take an inch there. We've got to take an inch on that side. So I'm going to pop that there and that there. And with any luck, and it looks like, again, we're working from those dimensions, it looks like that this actually butts up against, there's no margin. Okay, well that works for me. So now this time we've got this piece and we're going to go an inch on this side. Okay, measure twice, cut once. So we're going to go down from this corner to that mark. So that's going to go like that. Okay. And then we've got to do an inch from this corner. And so we've got to go, where did my mark go? So there's my mark, so we've got to go here to there. We got there to there. Okay. So we'll just get rid of those pencil marks again. I was pretty amazed that I actually found a pencil, because normally I struggle to find a pencil, and certainly to get an eraser is Oh look, I've got another pencil mark down there. I didn't get that one before. Okay. Okay, so how are we doing? let's just check something. So that's sort of coming up for like 3 inches, because I cut them exactly the same from the same piece of paper, same strip. It's like, oh, I have got a margin there. I just have to be, it's a very, very fine margin. And you know what I'm going to do? I am just going to take the merest smudge off of that long side. Literally a hair. If this will let me. Look, this is how much I've taken off. Just the tiniest bit. It just seems to be just slightly too wide, and hopefully I won't regret that. Right, so let's see what's going on now. Okay, so this is this one. It goes like that, and this is this one that goes like that. Yes, you know, look at the difference, that tiny little bit I took off. So let's get these stuck down before we lose the plot. Looks like we're okay. So that's that piece laid down. Now we're going to lay this piece down. And when I finish this live, I'm going to make a second one straight away, so as I don't forget. And I've got the 2 cards that are just going to be perfect for me to send out. Okay, so that is looking good. I'm going to add a piece of this just to the bottom, just to, because I'm not going to be ever so fancy with this, you know, because it's for fellas. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but fancy doesn't always go with fellas. Certainly not the 2 fellas that's going to be on the receiving end of these cards. One won't even wear a watch because he thinks it's jewellery. And he don't wear jewellery. So right. So this is where I'm going to write your to you, love from me. So we're just going to stick that down. Looks like this bottle of glue is on its last legs. So I think it should open like that, shouldn't it? That's the right way for it to open. Okay. So we had the idea that we would use some of these tags. So we're going to get the trimmer out again. and I'm just going to cut down this whole length. There we go. And then I can cut my tags. So let's do this. And then I can just use my paper snips to cut the taggy bits in. There we go. And I've got a hole punch here. Oh no, that's a stapler. That won't punch it. Well, I suppose it will punch a hole, but not the hole I'm looking for. Let's see what this one will do. Okay. So, where did my card go? So this is what I was thinking of, was to perhaps have it going like that. I may need to chew a bit more of that off because that is that's better. Now we have I've got some twine here, and how about we put a strip of this across the bottom again, just to I pull the pattern in. That's what I'm trying to do, is to pull in the pattern so it all looks you know, sort of deliberate. Well, it doesn't look like too many folks have joined me today, but hey, that's okay. Maybe you'll pick up and watch me in a replay, and go ahead and make some comments below. So you could do this with like any colour card and any decorative papers. We could just put just a little bit of this on, not a huge amount, just to kind of make it look like a tag. Oops, oops, oopsie doops. And I'm just going to add just a quick greeting. And I think I'm just going to put birthday wishes. Nothing fancy. Pop that like that. Let's clear some space. And maybe what we could do is use, we need to use something that's got a bit of presence about it. So I could use, let's see, let's use this dark navy blue. That. Oh, super duper. That works. And we'll just pop it up on some these little beasties are sticking on everything except the piece of paper I want it to. Where's my... I got a little tool that I can makes this easy to pick up. My little picture tool. I goofed. I don't want one there, do I? There, that's better. Yeah, I didn't want one there because it overlaps. And then I've got some of these rivets. So if we go ahead and get some glue dots, I can put a couple of rivets on there and give it a bit of presence, because I'm beginning to think that it's kind of got a bit lost in there. But I like that. I like this, but I don't like the mess on my desk. And let's clear a bit. You just bring that down so that we can have a better look at it. So I will make another one, and I will put the picture on the front of the video that shows the both of them together. And now I've done one, I think I feel a bit more confident to make sure I cut these panels. But I know that this will work for one of my fellas. And I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this while I explored this recipe that I found and created this card. If you have, perhaps you'll go ahead, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you don't already do so. And thanks for choosing to spend some time with me today. And I will look forward to seeing you next week with another live. Well, thank you for joining me once again. Bye-bye for now.